Good afternoon, ballers. Welcome to the 56th episode of the Stepback.
Yes.
56, Francisco Elson edition.
I was just about to say that. He was trash. We had to pick somebody though.
Yeah, they were limited options. It was him or Sean Williams.
Yeah, nah. Francisco Elson is fine.
It's been a long week uh, in the NBA, long week here. Um, it's 60 degrees. You got snow up there.
Yeah.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling way better than yesterday. Got vaccinated, got my second shot, all fully done, feeling a lot better. I was gonna try it yesterday, but I was like, nah, I gotta sleep. But other than that, I'm feeling good. We are ready to go. Saw a bit of basketball. Saw Tatum 60-point outburst, so it was kind of good. But other than that, I'm feeling good. How you doing down there in NYC?
Good down here. Long week of work. I got a parking spot right outside my house, so I'm not moving for the next 2 weeks.
I said 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. But overall, been pretty good. The Knicks, their winning streak came to an end against the Suns. I mean, it had all good things had to come to an end at some point, but um, they pick up a win against the Bulls, much to your liking.
Yes, sir.
But so far, everything's good, man. The Knicks still looking good. Losing streak over against the Suns. Chris Paul hit a crazy ass shot for the daggers. How you feeling with the Knicks and their winning streak coming to an end?
That was, if it had to be a team, the best team in the West now, I can't get mad at that. They stuck with them. We could have easily got blown out. It was a game we actually should have won. I can actually say that. But CP showing why he's the MVP candidate and Devin Booker, you knew once those two got together, they were going to be a problem with this team of eight and then the other guys they have on the team. But CP is another one that loves playing at the Garden, puts up his numbers, and I'm not mad at it. Everybody played hard, quickly. RJ came on, Randall doing Randall things, Noel blocking the shots, playing great defense, and sometimes there are some things as a good loss. I mean, I will take it. It's honestly we stuck with them. I can't really be mad about that.
Yeah, Phoenix was on a second leg of a back-to-back as Brooklyn took care of them the day before. So, good to see that teams coming into New York know that it's not going to be an easy road. Nets taking care of business. Knicks put in their effort. Good deal there. That of over win against the Bulls. They're a game and a half up on the Hawks and the Celtics for the fourth spot, and 4 games behind the Bucks for the third seed. Just more good things coming for the Knicks. Positive season, and looking at their potential moves. So reports came out today that some rumors that the Knicks might be all in on Lillard, after giving up some draft picks. Uh, we know Lillard is loyal to Portland, but they're now winners of 4 straight after beating Brooklyn last night. The, the Knicks and their history of giving away draft picks, do you see, are you in favor of dealing it for Lillard?
This is rough. Lillard's been my guy since he came in the league, so this is a rough one. If it's two first rounders, maybe a second rounder, I would say you got to do it. If it's nobody in the core, I'm like the Randalls, the RJs, um, Obi. If you gotta see my big thing with Obi, I'll just revert to this. It was nice that he fell. I didn't expect him to fall. I wanted Halliburton because we needed a point. It would have been a better, probably a smarter pick. But Obi was there. But at this point, if Randall's playing the way he is, you gotta extend him, and then Obi he has to be in some kind of deal. But for Lillard, I'll give up two first because obviously it's the Mavericks pick. So if they're good, they're gonna be low seeded picks. Okay, but it's not something. It's not just a oh no or yeah. You got to think about it. But if it's the right deal, I'm saying yes, man. That's my man Dame in New York. I've seen some. Oh, it's another Mellow. It's not another Mellow. I'm sorry. This is completely different. You're not giving up, the whole squad for him, but don't get bamboozled like you've done before. Two first rounders, maybe Frank, Knox, Obi. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. But we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't say hell no and hang up the phone quickly. I would. You have to take it into consideration.
Okay. What if it's like three firsts and uh RJ?
No. 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 No.
Three firsts, Knox and Obi.
See that? Yeah, absolutely. Because Obi, I honestly don't think he's gonna get a chance to. He's the kind of player. He was like the alpha dog at school, and dudes like that, you gotta be able to start. And with Randall playing the way he is, how much time he's gonna get? Especially how Tom Thibodeau coaches, he's not gonna get a lot of time. So, three first, I'm four. They said four. Hell no. You give up two Mavericks picks and maybe one of ours, something figured out. I would say yeah. Because players like Lillard, you can't say they come around a lot. Plus, I've seen a lot of basketball from that guy. Only 31. You can't say. I don't think you say no. I would, but I'll probably get a lot of backlash. But
Uh, I don't know, man. That limitless range badge
I,
and it's wild, and that's the only player that I know in 2K that can take over in the fourth quarter. Because I've seen it firsthand. You've done it to me. A man put up 20 points in the fourth. I lost the game by damn near 15, and
Game time.
I just had to put the controller down and take a walk outside.
Yeah, that guy is ridiculous. But three firsts with, I mean, I would do it. I'm sorry. If it's not for like immediate impact players on our team, yeah, and he basically you have Randall, Lillard, Noel or Robinson, RJ. I mean, you can't. You can put Bullock in. I don't care who you put at small forward.
Yeah,
I mean, but you can't say no. Who the hell is gonna say no to that? But
yeah,
that's theoretically speaking.
right, right, and he would definitely add that flair. He already has that New York mindset, the loyalty and just whatever it takes to win.
Hmm.
If there was any player that I could say would embody the Nick mentality,
Hmm.
it's Lillard.
Absolutely. But none of this. Enough of this damn trade talk. This nonsense. We having a successful season. I'm gonna stick with it right there.
Where uh, the Nets coming up, their matchup going up against Milwaukee tomorrow. KD returned, dropped 42, dropped 27 this past week, looking like he hasn't missed a beat.
Hmm.
Uh, Milwaukee coming in. Oh no, they're going to Milwaukee.
Hmm.
Giannis, the knee injury, I think is questionable for tomorrow. But the Bucks have quietly, under the radar, been making a lot of moves.
Hmm.
Looked real good. Been solidified that top three spot all year. And we mentioned last week we had the MVP races. You know who we both forgot the entire time?
Giannis?
Yep,
Oh, whoops.
wasn't wasn't in any of our top five. I don't think we like even paid him an afterthought, but
Damn.
he,
He's killing it this year, though. I
he,
don't know why.
he is.
But
Uh, but we always go back to what he does in crunch time in the
hmm.
playoffs, being able to knock down free throws and making the right decision.
Hmm.
The, the Bucks changed their roster a bit, adding Tucker and Bobby Portis. Oh, crazy eyes! How far you think Milwaukee can go in these playoffs?
Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, you can't deny you still have Giannis. He can take you a long way, if he's right. And now he has a lot of knockdown shooters. BP he can knock down. He can knock down some threes. Tucker's a tough guy. He'll give you that veteran leadership. he corner badge. He'll hit some. DiVincenzo, you know, Holiday. Can't
Hmm.
forget about him. He What else they got there on that squad? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Brooke Lopez. Can't
Right.
forget about him. He's got the interior guy. He's not a slacker on defense anymore. I give him that. He's worked hard on that side, and they have a good team, man. They really do. I know I forget. Oh, excuse me, Chris Middleton. What's wrong with me? They have him too, and they have the squad to do it. Can they beat the Nets? That's gonna be it right there. They they can. That's who you have to go through to the East. We all know it. Whether you like it or not, it's going through Brooklyn.
Yeah, the Bucks are well, you know, uh, Milwaukee has a team that like can individually defend players, Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton. It's just the track record that they have in big moments that would worry you.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like this year's Milwaukee team compared to previous years, only because I think that the experience that they had and the uh, failures can actually catapult them to two Eastern Conference Finals.
Hmm.
But I still think they come up short.
Okay. It's like, I mean, it's not a given, but you can see it.
Right.
I mean, 'cause you know how they started walling up on Giannis, and that team went to crap, man. And that's the biggest thing. He also has to be able to trust his teammates, and that was his biggest problem and why they lost that series last year because he didn't trust his teammates. He tried to do too much. If you have guys open up in the corner, don't try to bully your way down when everybody's collapsing on you. You got to be able to have that vision to hit the open guys, whether it's the corner, whether it's top of the key, wherever you got
Hmm.
to see him, you have to have that vision to get it to the players. And if he's not going to do that, he's going to be, second round out every year. And Philly, you got to look at Philly too. Philly's not a joke this year, and that was one of your picks. They actually go to the finals last year, I believe, and they're healthy now. Especially the way Embiid is playing on that MVP level, it's not going to be a cakewalk.
No, no, not at all. And you know, Milwaukee's usually prone to early round exits. You get the Milwaukee's now with Charlotte coming in, and Washington. I think is going to be a tough out if they get in. So these playoffs will be very intriguing. It's about 11 games left. We got 2 weeks to go. Counting down the final games. Westbrook on his triple doubles watch, about 5 away now from passing Oscar. Good stuff there. But uh, today we're going to focus on some teams who pretty much mailed it in and going to be looking forward to next year. They won't be in the playoff race, but they packed it in, and some of them are trending upwards.
That's
Uh,
true, definitely.
One is your former team, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Pack it up. Yeah, I did. Boom, 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 boom. Pack it up. Mail it. Yeah, Minnesota, man. It's
Winners of four straight. They had 20 and 44 on the year. They had a rough go early with Russell out, Carl Anthony Towns out, but and Anthony Edwards coming off the bench. But now as they progress through the season, Anthony Edwards inserted to the starting lineup. Russell and Carl Anthony Towns, they have now been together for a bit, gelled, have some chemistry, and now winners of four straight. This Minnesota team could be very dangerous going into next year, as Cat has the potential to be the top five center in this league, and it's just due to injuries that he hasn't been able to fulfill it. I'm going to go out on a limb now and say I could say he's going to end up being top three next year in MVP voting.
I will I'll go with you on that one. I can see that. You know, Cat has been pretty much as advertised coming out of school. You know, he's going to average 24, 25 points a game. You know, close to double digit rebounds. He's going to get you some blocks. And that team, I had him in the playoffs. Really, if they were healthy this year, I had him in the playoffs.
Hmm.
And it's it sucks because they had to go through, you know, with Cat's mom going on with his COVID case. He had to deal with that. Beasley, they got him to be that, you know, fire starter off the bench. His suspension. Anthony Edwards, you know, he had a little slow start, but he brought it on, turned it up, and had some poster games. He had, you know, getting buckets, inefficient, but you know, he still got his buckets. D'Lo was big. D'Lo
Yeah,
not playing was huge for this team because backup point guard. You know, you have Rubio. Rubio is okay, but it's not what you need for the offense. He's more of a backup at this point right now, and they have some nice young talent. Yeah, Akogi, nice 3-and-D guy. He had a few. He was injured for about a couple of weeks. You know, so he was gone. Culver, he's another 3-and-D guy. I put Culver and Akogi in the same spot because they can do the same things. I think Okogi's a little bit better on the defensive end, both athletic as hell. And Jalen McDaniels,
that guy
Jaden
can play some.
McDaniels,
He can
he
play
can
some
play.
defense.
He can play defense. He finally got a shot. You know, for some reason, Ryan Saunders didn't want to play him. I didn't get it. You get kids like that, you got to put them on the floor because you need that energy to get you going. But you know, that's what happens with some coaches. And I forgot the coach's name, but the new coach's name. That team, I can see them making a play if healthy. If
Right.
healthy, this team has it all to just make the playoffs. I don't know how much of a spark they'll play. Maybe you know first round, maybe shock a team because of their talent alone.
Hmm.
But other than that, they're going to be good next year. You know? Plus, I did the smart thing. Sorry, the two team things didn't work for me. I changed. It's too much work. I can't. I can't.
You can't follow all that on Bleacher Report.
Nah, chill.
Those notifications just blow up.
Blow up, and then you watch it and trying to watch that and that. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
But but yeah, they play with excitement. They're getting an identity. They're playing with pace.
Hmm.
Minnesota really up tempo, and you mentioned the posterizing dunks from Anthony Edwards, and they've done really trending upwards this season. And with an added potential lottery pick coming in this year, in a very deep draft, sky's the limit for Minnesota with new ownership coming in the next few years. So, yeah, playoffs are definitely in the cards
Hmm.
for Minnesota.
Absolutely. Shout out to Justin, our resident Minnesota fan from Australia,
Ooh,
holding it
nice.
down. So he always holding it down for the Wolves. But listen, maybe they'll make another playoff appearance. But we will see. Health is everything. What's the
The Houston Rockets. They are 16-47 on the year. They were losers of damn near 20 straight games. Um, wheels fell off in the beginning of the season with Harden coming in out of shape and really not uh, invested his time and effort to be in there. Christian Wood, early most improved player candidate, got injured, and it kind of just went downhill from there. But Houston also trending upwards with Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood back. So yeah, I like where Houston is going with this. They have a ton of draft picks from the Harden trade, and Kevin Porter Jr. They traded him for a second round pick,
Mhm.
and he's looking like James Harden light.
Yeah.
John Wall uh, also traded for Westbrook in the offseason. Uh, Looked decent this year. Had an explosive step. Uh, Showed his defensive ability, but he's been deemed out for the year with I believe hamstring.
Mhm.
So Kevin Porter Jr. Big fan of his. Dropped a 50 piece this week with 11 assists. What's your thoughts on Houston going forward?
They can be a decent team. I don't. They. I can't see them as like a playoff team yet, But Kevin Porter Jr., that's what he needed. He needed a change of scenery. It just wasn't working in Cleveland. He another one with all the talent in the world coming out of USC. You knew he was a walking bucket. He's an adequate defender, but it was just all about his head going to be in the game. If his head is in the game, you see 50 piece. That's what you're going to get. Christian Wood, unbelievable story. Love it. Always, I would always listen to it. Just somebody really gave him a chance to do anything. He finally gets a chance for playing time. They gave him a playing time in Detroit. He turned that into a nice little contract. That's another good player. So you have shooting guard and your power forward. You got that locked down. Jason Tate is another one I like. He's very solid. John Wall, if he decides to stay, you got your point guard there. I think he has plenty of years left in the tank. If he can keep himself out of injuries, run this line. You can't run away from the DNA. Kenyon Martin Jr. He plays just like his dad. A lot of energy. He shoots better, um, but I like him. Daniel House, another one you can throw in there. DJ Wilson. I've always liked this kid. I just think he never gets a shot to actually play.
Mhm.
When he was on the Bucks, I mean, he showed that energy there, but you never really saw him. And unless he got traded, he's on Houston, right? Am I going crazy?
Uh, I'm gonna have to check on that.
Yeah, because I know he was on the squad. If I'm losing my mind, I do apologize. But who else they got on there? Who else? Can't say Tyson Chandler anymore. Ke- Kelly Olynyk, whatever. But yeah, they Eric Gordon. Okay, I
E-
mean,
Yeah, Eric Gordon's gonna be traded. I think John Wall actually might be traded
I can
too.
see that.
I don't see anyone really taking on that contract.
Mm-mm.
It's gonna be really hard to do that, but it's a definite youth movement
Oh yeah.
in Houston. Maybe Wall could be the guy the veteran who leads this young team.
Hmm.
But for Houston, it's all about guys who want to be there, and that's
Yep.
what didn't start out in the beginning of the season with Harden and Cousins.
Hmm.
And you saw how they cut bait with Cousins and
Quick.
real quick. And he looked pretty good last week for the Clippers, put up a
Hmm.
17-11 spot. But for Houston, it's about building the culture. Steven Silas there with guys who want to be there,
Hmm.
and with all the draft picks coming from Brooklyn and Cleveland, they're a good probably 3 years away from competing. But Kevin Porter Jr. and Wood are the centerpieces.
Hmm. Actually, DJ Wilson does still play. He had his last game versus Milwaukee. He 25 minutes, 15 points, 5 of 11, and 12 rebounds. See, I was right. But I always liked him.
Yeah.
Good high energy guy. I know he killed the Knicks every time we saw him. But yeah, I like him. That's another piece. They got a few good pieces that you can build around. They got some good picks now. So one draft, that's all it takes. They can turn it around.
Yep. All about progression. And maybe someone would actually want to stay in Houston.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see about that one. Uh, Next team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, well documented with all the picks they have, 34 picks over the next 7 years.
Hmm.
They are 21 and 42 on the year. Really suffered a bit with Gilgis Alexander going down, but it allowed other guys to shine. You look at Maladone, who we were high on in the beginning, Poskasevsky, 7 foot, thin framed, Dr. Frank looking like Gunner. But Thunder are a team with high energy, play hard, and I think for the next few years, they will be a force to be reckoned with because they compete with
Hmm.
a lot of the upper echelon teams out west.
Yes. Then they beat the Celtics. Speaking, I know
Yeah.
you said West, but yeah, then they beat the Celtics like a few nights ago. So they can sneak up on you. That's a team that you can't take lightly. Where's my notes? Yeah, a lot of notes. But Sam Presti,
Hmm.
man, that dude should be at the gym every year. Because after that, good gracious, that dude flipped George, just flipped everybody for picks. And this is the way you're supposed to do it. You train them star players, so you get value for them, especially when it comes to picks. But like you just alluded to, Shy Alexander, I like Kyron Williams, solid. Moses Brown, keep your head up.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw that gift, that's him. He came out of nowhere. You know, my man Dort,
Lou
Jimmy,
Dort.
Lou Dort. You cannot forget about him. Can hit you threes, lock you down on defense. He's tough. Um, Meladon, Darius Baisley, another young, what's he like 21, 22, all of them 21, 22 years old. They can grow together. Um, all their picks, and the funny thing about Shy is he's only 23, and they're gonna have to shovel out that max deal to him because it's
Yeah,
about that time.
he's like the de facto leader on the team, and I think well Horford they're gonna try to
Oh,
deal him. You can
yeah.
get value for him. Uh, they're just proving that the plethora of picks, if you hit on enough, you can. It's proven to be fruitful.
Hmm.
And let's be honest, like we said before, the 34 picks, they're not going to use all of them. They're going to use some of these picks for star potential,
Hmm.
build these guys up, and accelerate the competitive process.
Hmm.
But I like where this team is going. That maybe this Thunder team may be able to keep their talent and progress fully. But yeah, shout out to OKC, man.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job. Shout out to Sam Presti, man. You lose a lot of players like that, especially the star players they lost. You can't. A lot of people just don't. A lot of teams, excuse me, don't recover from that, and he's getting there slowly but surely. But if you're gonna build a team from the ground up, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Next team, the Sacramento Kings. Uh, this was one of my favorite ones here. They're fast. They play absolutely no defense, and I'm very surprised Luke
Facts.
Walton still has a job.
You said he was gonna get canned
Yeah,
quick, but hey,
yeah. Shout out to Luke Walton for keeping his job, but uh, De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, that backcourt is going to be real nasty for the next few years. Fox and the health and safety protocols really put a downer on their chances to catch the 10 seed.
hmm
But Rashawn Holmes is someone who has progressed nicely this year. Athletic, big, double double machine. This team has a lot of potential, but I think
for real.
them not moving Buddy Hield or Harrison Barnes for some assets
Hmm.
might have held them back a bit, but I still like this backcourt for the future. What you got in the Kings here?
The Kings, I agree 100% with you. Another one, Terrence Davis had a solid game against the Lakers. My man, Marvin Bagley, the third. Yes. I mean, he had another one of all the talent in the world. He has to stay healthy and just, stay on the floor, man. That's all you got to do. He shoots over 50% from the field, averaging 13 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. You don't produce scrubs anymore, man. What's the scrubs? Duke and scrubs used to be hand in hand. I'll give you that right there. But Bagley, that he's a piece that you can use, and Halliburton should have been Nick, but it's whatever. I mean, I like Maurice Harkless. I've always
Hmm.
liked him, so when he gets on the
Yeah,
squad, it's cool. Queens native. He was gonna wash up KP. Uh, but yeah, he's another one you can keep on the team. But all they need is maybe a big man. I mean, I know they got Whiteside, but you got to get younger there. And Holmes, he can play center, but he's undersized, so he's more of
right,
a power. He's more of a four. But if they can get a nice center in there, that would put them in the
right,
mix of things going into a playoff or a play-in game. But that, like you said, that backcourt is ridiculously nasty. Fox, he can be the off-ball guy. Halliburton could be the facilitator of the offense, and it's looking good for them. They finally got a part right.
yeah,
They got something going there in Sacramento. Lord knows they haven't had anything going since freaking early 2000s.
yeah. And some guys to look out for, under the radar. The Kyle guy.
Mhm.
Jamias Ramsey. I think Ramsey's going to take Buddy Hield's spot because if you look at Ramsey from Texas Tech, that guy is a gunner. He's going to get his minutes now coming down the stretch. So look out for him late this season, going into next season. And, you know, do you think the Kings will keep Bagley around?
They should. I mean, it'd be nice. You know, I can't say it's easy to get the guy's numbers, but he's young enough where you can keep him around. He can still grow. If you don't, you must have another one in mind. But I would keep him around. Why not? And Kyle Guy, that yeah, I do like that guy. I thought the Knicks had him, but they traded him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say. Yeah, I was pretty pissed about that because that's another Virginia player. I was right about. Joe Harris was another one. I really wanted Joe Harris coming out of school. The same thing that you're seeing now, that's what Joe Harris did in school. And the Nets got lucky enough to, snatch him away from Cleveland, and you see what's happening there, enjoying the fruits of his labor. But yeah, Kyle Guy is going to be another good one. So it's a good pick by you.
Um, the New Orleans Pelicans, 28-35, somewhat in the mix for that 10 spot. Health was their issue with Zion and Ingram and Lonzo Ball. Stan Van Gundy had a weird year. I don't think he's been able to implement his system correctly there due to all the missing and moving parts. But I think next year would be a telling year for this team.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm not sure if Ball would be around. I think he stays. And they try to build something there. Eric Bledsoe has had an up and down year, but
Surprise, surprise.
yeah, but the one guy who's really come on strong is Jackson Hayes. Uh, few few posterizing dunks, uh, a lot of uh, defensive plays there.
Hmm.
Pelicans, where do you see them going as Zion has proven himself to be a top 10 guy in this league already at 2,000 points?
Man, if they don't make the playoffs next year, I don't know what. Somebody getting fired. I don't know who's going to get fired, but somebody getting fired. But Stan Van Gundy, he seems off, man. I don't know. Like watching him on the sideline, he seems shaky. I don't know what's going on there. That's just something I saw when he's on the sidelines, kind of shaky. I don't know what's going on there. But back to the players, Zion, a monster. He is performing to his potential. I mean, he put on the show against the Knicks, playing against his boy RJ. Lonzo Ball stepped it up. He has improved every single year he has been in the league. Kind of shedding that. He might be a bust. No, he's a great playmaker. Vision is there. His 3-point shot is better, way better, vastly improved. Jackson Hayes, like you just said, he's gonna be a good one in this league. Um, Brandon Ingram, can't say enough about that kid. Pretty much, like, they just gave him away in the deal for AD, but hey, he's a star in this league, and they got a lot of stars, man. It's just crazy. Nikhil Walker, that's another one. I want to see him get a little. I think he was averaging 10 points a game this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you have another one that they have such a talented team that's just crazy to see that they're even under 500. It's just wild. See, I know like some injuries, but it's just weird because they have all the talent in the world. They should not be where they are right now. But next year, they're definitely making the playoffs. I'm going. I'm 100% all in on New Orleans. They're making the playoffs next year.
Yeah, the youth and inexperience really caught up with them a lot this year.
Hmm.
Their defense and turnovers really
Oh.
kind of limited them to what they can be, but the explosiveness has always been there. Uh, Ingram,
Hmm.
we saw what he did last year, bit injured this year, but I think next year he'll go into that MVP closer mentality and really show out, especially with Zion taking the leap he has this year. And a full year of Josh Hart
I
would would,
like that
would,
guy.
would definitely help them. So
Hmm.
you're
Same
right.
with Steven Adams.
Yeah, Steven Adams is just Aquaman, the big beast, real solid. I'm with you on New Orleans. Um, hitting that playoff spot next year. But 28-35 is somewhat in the mix now. But um, that three-headed monster potentially for New Orleans is on the way.
Well, for sure, man. And watch out for. I think he's gonna be a good if he gets some time. Winning Gabriel
Hmm.
Sudanese. I think they're just waiting for Steven Adams his contract to go, and I think that kid would slide right in. Him and Jackson Hayes would be a nice little wall to build up defensively in the front court. Another Kentucky player. I think he
Jesus.
would really, yeah. They just push him out like the Octomom, but but they got a factory going on there with these kids. But that's gonna be another one to watch if he gets some playing time. But New Orleans, come on, man. I want to see them get to the playoffs because they're an exciting team to watch. Not on the defensive end, but they sure as hell can get up and down the floor.
Yeah, just shed so many tears and for so many years. Yeah, yeah, I got that. The Detroit Pistons, 19-44 on the year.
Next.
Their record is incredibly deceiving. They play hard every game. They are 13-0 in games decided by 10 points or less. Dwayne Casey, former coach of the year in Toronto, they had a real good season from Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee. Grant, candidate for most improved in his own right, but Dwayne Casey is incorporating his style of play, his grit and culture, just like the city of Detroit, like we talked about earlier in the draft for the Lions. So it's all about Detroit, man. The grit and grind, the toughness. I think Detroit is, if not next year, 2 years away from really competing because they give a lot of teams problems that by competing hard, they're not giving up. They just don't have the talent. But Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, and Killian Hayes coming back this past 2 weeks, really providing effort and talent that could be a catapult for the Detroit Pistons next year.
Mhm. Yeah, they got the front court locked down. I mean, they they got some damn power forwards, but yeah, I like Isaiah Stewart, full of talent, tough. That's what you want. Sadiq Bey, I absolutely love Sadiq Bey. He can shoot. Killian Hayes, he's another one I really like. If he just has to, get a little bit better with his jump shot.
Hmm.
Form's not too bad. Just got to start dropping them. Dennis Smith, whatever. My man Mason Plumlee, you always, I always give the Duke love. Always tough. Mason, no, I'm not gonna say Mason face. R.I.P. Mace. He can't have that. Um, yeah, Detroit. Saban Lee. He
Hmm.
he showed some promise, and that was pretty much it. So they gotta basically go to the draft. Frank Jackson too. Frank Jackson's there. It's whatever. Showed a little here and there. Hamadou Diallo, left rack city stand up. Um, he could dunk. He'll give you a few highlights here and there. He can have a few 15, 20-point games, but I don't know what they're going to do to incorporate him into the offense. Got to get better defensively. And you play under Dwayne Casey, he wants you to play hard defensively.
Hmm.
But yeah, they got to get some guard. The guard play has to align with the front court. You can have front court all you want. It looks good, but if you don't have the guard play, you're going to lose a lot of games. And plus, they don't have a closer. I can't say Jeremy Grant's good, but he's not a closer because he just held
Uh,
up.
yeah, I mean he made a lot of strides this year.
Oh
I, I
yeah.
I think I think he could enter that closer conversation because I've seen a bunch of daggers from him,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I think they need a second player to develop
Mm-hmm.
from this crop of the Jacksons and the Sadiq Bays and Isaiah Stewarts to really complement what Grant can be.
Mm-hmm.
So Detroit, they're trending upwards. They're, they're not going to really contend for any championships or playoff spots in the next, 2 years, but
Mm-hmm.
I like the direction they're going.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can't deny that. Shout out to Dennis Smith. You know, last 3 games he pulled the quadruple, triple, triple. No points, no minutes. Oh, sorry, that's DNPs. Thanks for Derrick Rose. We appreciate it. But
Gun smoke.
yes, load them up. But yeah, but definitely, yeah, they have some talent. I agree with you on that one. They got some talent. That's Sadiq Bey. He's shooting over 40%. I think he's shooting over 40 from three as well. But that's the player that's going to need to step up with Killian Hayes because that kid is he could be all world once he's right and healthy. Plus I got his rookie card, so come on,
Oh,
I got like
oh,
5 of them.
you gotta get that graded. You're gonna be improving
I know.
in value.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Catch him on the street, get
I
my
mean,
money back.
like LeBron James, I think his rookie card was like 5.5 million or something like that.
It's crazy. The same one. I just don't have it graded. People think it's wild because it's what Tops did. Well, excuse me, what's it Tops? Yeah, what Tops did basically with that card, they made a lot of reprints, and that's why a lot of people are scared to do it. But I actually have a real one. I went to my card shop. He's like, Jacob, yeah, you got a good one here, but it won't grade as high because of the centering. But it's still worth maybe up to $1,000, which for a card I bought for like $30 back in '07. I mean, come on now, it's a no brainer. But
Yeah,
I don't want to steal by my wife, so I can't buy many cars.
yeah, we gotta get some guys on here who uh have some trading cards and player cards themselves, and
Really.
talk about how they get theirs graded and
Hmm.
the story behind how they collected them. So that's some pretty interesting stuff there.
Hmm.
The next team is the Orlando Magic. Point guard cursed, uh, injury riddled team that kind of punted their season around the trade deadline by trading Vucevic for some picks. Chicago gave all their picks away, just like draft night, NFL draft. Chicago won't have any first round picks for the next 3 years.
Load them up. Gun smoke.
Which by the
Love
way,
you, Matt.
yeah, we love you, Matt. But we were guests on the Audible this past Thursday for the NFL draft. Um, had a lot of fun.
All
You can
right, yeah,
catch
that was great.
those guys Tuesday nights on in football life, but catch up the previous episode covering the draft and watching a grown man go through all five emotions of of, uh, of a draft. Acceptance, denial, and then just total anger. So it was good stuff. But the Orlando Magic, Markel Fultz, Michael Carter Williams, Cole Anthony, all catching injuries this year. Jonathan Isaac was out for the year. Uh, this team is about 3 years away, even with a good coach like Clifford. They went to the playoffs last year, won a game against Milwaukee. They're about they need more shooting. Wendell Carter, Mo Bamba really coming on late this year. Where do you see Orlando Magic going into next year?
Next year, with some nice help, they can be on the fringe playoff game. I mean, playing games right there. Mobamba, yeah, I will like him in the middle. Always. Um, he's good. He could block shots. Not bad shooter. My man Cole Anthony. It's a cold world. He's healthy. He's been putting up the numbers, and I like him going forward. But Markel Fultz would be big coming back because the strides that guy has made from almost almost pulling the Anthony Bennett and changing his game around has been no just short of extraordinary. The guy can be a top point guard in his league, and I would love to see it. Who else they got? Okiki. He's not
Hmm.
bad. They got some nice role players. Okiki. Terrence Ross. He still drops buckets. Dwayne. Somebody smell of bacon. I said that at the same time. But yeah, he's a good shooter. They have nice complementary players on the team. Michael Carter Williams, whatever. Gary Harris, I always liked. Good defensive player, 3 and D guy. You always need 3 and D guys. Maurice Wagner, hashtag NSYNC Wagner. Dude got the frost tips. Like, what the hell are we doing? It's not the year 2000. Get that out of here. James Ennis, whatever. Otto Porter, good veteran. He's like one of those veterans you want to have on the team because he can get you 10 points a game, play some good defense, hit a few threes. Wendell Carter Jr. of course, love his game. Back classic back to the basket kind of player. Like you said, got to stay healthy. But yeah, they can fringe playoff team. They gotta play through the draft, get a few more actual younger forwards. Because obviously you got the guard spot locked down, you got the center spot, you got the front court. If they can get a small forward, maybe another. No, I can't say Aaron Gordon type, but they need a forward, a high scoring forward that can put that together. But everything else, they don't look that bad.
Yeah, I think that's what Jonathan Isaac's supposed to be.
Hmm.
But you're right. I do agree they need like an athletic guard, an athletic forward, really someone with some scoring punch, uh, who can accelerate their competitive, uh, to accelerate them into contention. But
Hmm. They got
uh,
RJ Hampton too, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we got
give him some
Hampton.
time. Give him some time. That kid was supposed to be. He was playing in Australia with grown men. You never know, man. Let that let him off the leash.
Facts. Orlando was 19-44 on the year. Uh, next one, this one I'm really high on.
Hmm.
Cleveland Cavaliers, 21-42 on the year.
Hmm.
Absolute offensive juggernaut if healthy with that backcourt of Sexton and Garland, aka Sexland. But Jared Allen, next $100 million player. That team has a lot of potential. They had the building blocks in place.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, they did trade Kevin Porter Jr., but I don't think he would have been the same player he is in Houston as he would be in Cleveland.
Hmm.
Uh, Okoro made some nice offensive strides this year. Just the one guy who I think could, if they flip him, could also accelerate uh, their timetable. Is
Hmm.
Kevin Love.
Yeah, they gotta let him go. I don't know what the hell they're waiting on. They really I know somebody would take him. Like, come on now. He still can be a contributor on a squad. And what are you keeping him for? You got rid of Drummond. Since you got rid of Drummond, Kevin Love should have went. But yes, I do agree. Sexland, what a backcourt. Jared Allen, you got that locked down. CD Osman, I know he's good, but I think they are putting too much stock into him because he's basically playing LeBron's spot. You ain't getting that production ever. Just be
Oh,
happy with what you get. Love Isaac Okoro, good defensive player. Just gotta get better on the offensive end. You got Matthew Dellavedova, whatever. Um, Turian Prince, oh, he's another solid guy that you need on the squad. Larry Nance Jr. has made great strides in becoming a good player, not just a dunker. Dean Wade, solid guy. But the guy I posted in the group not too long ago, Isaiah Hardingstein.
mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a really good player, tough on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, he can rebound really well. I mean, he gives it his all on the floor, so I think he'll be a nice little cog in this rotation. But Cleveland, they're looking on the up and Damon Dotson, shout out to him. He's a good 3 and D guy as well. But they have a nice little squad going on. Especially like I said, I'm big on teams with backcourts because that's the hardest to find. You don't
Yeah,
see a lot of guys a lot of teams with like a great backcourt, and this is a good start. And this is a good start for them. And with 1 or 2 more drafts, Cleveland might be back in the playoff hunt. But next year, they're still not going to be as good. but they're going to be fun to watch.
Right. Uh, I see a lot of alleys coming with Sexton and Allen,
Hmm.
and you know how Allen is as a defensive player. But Kevin Love, we saw a video this week of him just more or less quitting on the team. It actually looked that way with the inbound pass. He just slapped it away.
Hmm.
Do you seem like getting traded or bought out? What team do you think Kevin Love would end up on?
The Nets, 'cause they get everybody. No, obviously a playoff team. I mean, yeah, if he got bought out, I would like him to go. No, I'm gonna say the Knicks because I want to see Obi get some kind of burn. That wouldn't be bad. Maybe the Bucks. The Bucks would be nice, man. He's another one, yo. They got Bobby Portis, but he also. Oh no, I wouldn't put Kevin Love in the center spot. That's injury waiting to happen. So we're off the bench, but you can yeah Milwaukee. I would put out there. What's another team we got? Phoenix. I would like to see him on Phoenix. Uh, who else? Who else? Who else we got?
I could see him reuniting with LeBron and going out to LA and taking
Ye-
Marc Gasol's spot.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one. LeBron keeps his boys around.
Oh yeah.
Who's another one? Hmm. Boston. Boston would love his he still can rebound. He can get you his number. Boston would be a nice spot for him.
And one sleeper spot is Charlotte. I know he's like really. He seems like a bit of a grump on younger teams, but
Hmm.
I think the way Charlotte has really improved themselves this season and the flair that they have, um, I could see him like low key maybe going to Charlotte, uh, teaming up with Jordan and getting ball and really solidifying that front court that Charlotte desperately needs. But yeah, if I top spot, I think it's the Lakers.
Yeah, I can see that. It's fair.
Um, and one of your favorite teams of all time, uh, really going to a tailspin, the Chicago Bulls. Knicks took care of them the other night. They are 26-37 on the year. Zach Levine, the health and safety protocol really put them out of business. Where do you see the Chicago Bulls going in the next year?
Next year they're gonna be good. I'm not gonna hate on them. I really thought they would be close to a playoff team, if not a playoff team this year, because they got the talent to do it even more now. With Vucevic, Zach, Patrick Williams, uh, Kobe Kobe White,
Mm-hmm.
really solid. Um, but yeah, we both talked about it on the defensive end. They ain't shit. Let's be honest.
No.
You missed that Tibbs defense, don't you? But but yeah, they really great on the offensive end. They can fill it up. They can't stop anybody defensively, but they should be good enough to make the playoffs, especially next year with some help. Zach Levine, they better keep him around because that's another guy that has turned himself from just a highlight dunker to a scorer, closer, whatever you need him to do on the floor. Defense, he leaves some to be desired, but you'll take that with a offensive superstar like him. And shout out to the Bulls. Billy Donovan. He coached the team to be a really good team, but you can't help with the health and safety protocols and all that stuff going on this year. And it just kills a lot of teams' playoff hopes, man. As soon as something goes right, all you see is health and safety protocols, but it's the Bulls, so oh well.
I mean, well, that and Denzel Valentine more or less just shot him out of any
Oh,
hope they
I,
ever had.
I don't know who the hell thought it was okay to put him in the rotation, tell him to shoot a lot, but they need to stop it. Billy, I don't know who the hell told you. I don't know who you listened to, but you too good of a coach to be just not seeing that. But he just comes in the game. I got happy. I really did. He came in the game. I was like, oh yes, we getting about 5 bricks right now, and that's exactly what happened. I had the Birdman. I was
So I didn't even realize that there was an entire thread dedicated to Denzel Valentine's like air balls, bricks, turnovers, and he has this terrible ass rap out rap
What?
song that
Oh
yes,
God! Now we got now I gotta
uh,
find it.
yeah, Robert, a good friend Robert Holiday, who we had a previous episode with. If you catch us on Life Group Podcast Network, he was on. He showed me the thread.
Mm.
I mean, it was garbage. It
I gotta look that up.
it was trash. If I find it,
Um,
I'll tag you in it. But it
oh,
oh
please do.
my god, it was bad.
Please do. But yeah, the Bulls have too much talent, man. That's another one. Vooch, Laurie Markkinen, Zach, like I said, Kobe White, Patrick Williams. Thaddeus Young still, a good contributor around the league. I like Ryan. I forgot to
Oh,
say it.
Archer
Archer,
Diacono.
whatever. Yeah, there you go, right there. I knew it sounded right. Um, I like Devin Dotson, but they don't use him. Sodoransky, that's another one.
Yeah,
But yeah, they have a lot of talent, but they just don't
they
play
need
defense.
they need a point guard badly.
Yeah, Kobe's more of a Kobe, excuse me. Is more of a no, I'm not gonna call him that White, Mr. White. Um, he's more of a off the ball guy. He'll get you, 5 or 6 per game, but he's not a point. He's not a pure point guard. But they, I won't say they have a lot of work to do, but they definitely next year they got to figure out the forward situation. I think if you can flip, marketing, I would flip marketing with some picks. But it seems like Patrick Williams. I think they might have. I
I,
don't
I think
know.
I think Markkinen's a restricted free agent. I thought they should have traded him at the deadline.
You, I would think they should have just traded him because you selected Patrick Williams for a reason, right?
Hmm
You got rid of Carter, so Markkinen should have been the next to go since they were having whatever issues they had. And Patrick Williams is more than enough to do that. Better defender. He can shoot as well. It seems like his body of work keep him away from injuries. And we'll see. But Nick still kicked that ass, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I've been real surprised and pleased at the play of Daniel Tice with Chicago.
Hmm.
I knew that I thought he was a better player coming off the bench.
Yes.
I thought he really shouldn't have been starting for Boston, but he's really shown out in Chicago as uh, tune of over 18 points, nine
Hmm.
boards coming off the bench. So Daniel Tice, good player. They have a lot of forwards out in Chicago, but yeah, they need that point guard. Maybe Derrick Rose will come back and make amends. Maybe make Felipe happy.
Yeah, that would be funny. Ah, Felipe and Derrick Rose. That could be a story within itself.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a better story than what we've been going, we've been having this week. He is himself a host of a show, Total Basis Podcast, Sunday mornings. Fantasy baseball needs there. Get that in baseball life as we go towards week, I believe it's six now uh, in the league. I think it's 10 in our baseball life league. But
Hmm.
speaking of fantasy, we're winding down the fantasy basketball playoffs. A lot of injuries, a lot of DNPs as guys taking rest days, load management uh, in the group. Felipe has been providing updates. It's myself and him in the championship tournament, championship game. I'm whipping that ass by 25. If you
Yo.
guys have been paying attention, I've been giving you guys uh, pointers all year. We were the 1 and 2 seeds respectively. Felipe won, I was two, but uh, right now I'm up by 25
Hmm.
with the game potentially ending on Sunday. Look up next week. We may very well have him on. I can, tell him how great I am in person
Yo. Oh man.
and let him know that I am the king and not to ever forget it. But
East side is the best side.
yeah, damn, damn straight, West Side is the best side. But no, it'll be fun. We'll have a bunch of our fantasy league guests who were in the league. We'll have them on, share their thoughts on the season, and since this is a keeper league, we can discuss I could try to pick their brain and see who we'll keep. We get some insight and really recap a wild year in fantasy basketball.
For real. Um, yeah, that actually it hurt. I don't care what anybody says. I would have made the finals, but Mr. James Harden had to freaking go on low management. Two leads. And Kevin Durant, he goes on. He got hurt. James Harden carrying me, doing this thing, made some key pickups, and then it just went downhill, and I couldn't. But I'll be back next year with some stronger picks. I'll be doing a lot more research next year. But congrats to you guys for making the finals, and I'll definitely see y'all guys next year. You know.
Yeah, yeah, you really can't predict injuries. It's a real pain in the asses. Uh, Over in my Yahoo league that we also have Donovan Mitchell out, Fox is out, and I was top seed there all year. I'm getting my ass kicked there, so I'm pretty pretty sure I'm losing that battle. But you can catch us next week as we'll have Felipe on and share his thoughts on fantasy basketball and pick his brain on fantasy baseball as we'll keep the wheels turning.
Absolutely. Speaking of fantasy baseball, I made a nice little deal for Patrick Corbin. I mean, I was like, hey, he's having a good day. Hey, he's pitching well today. Against the Marlins. I was like, all right, I'm going to get a pitcher. I need somebody. I was like, if maybe he turns it around. But it looks like he had a good game today, and I had to rely on the National. Go figure.
Yeah, I have that on my TV screen right now as their Nationals are up 7-2, so that's going great. We got the Mets and Phillies going on later,
I want to see
Dom
a
and
fight.
Alvarado. We got
Fight.
all the smoke there. Meet me in the tunnel.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. We playing like this. We need to fight somebody. Those punches. No game no more. Shit, man.
Yeah, Bryce Harper hitting the face with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. We got guys just catching smoke everywhere. But uh, Henry Maldonado Jr., Vince Mercandetti, Dong City, Monday nights, 7 p.m. over in Baseball Life. If you haven't caught them, they're absolutely great. You can also catch them on the Life Group Podcast Network by subscribing to the YouTube channel, as well as Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, however you receive your podcast. They do an excellent job, and I'm sure they'll have their thoughts on Meet Me in the Tunnel.
Of course, definitely. It's like a freaking blood and guts over here, man. That's what I want to see. Speaking of blood and guts, we got the Work Shoot podcast with Corey Richmond and Jason Brooks. Every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Every Thursday, they're going to be going over blood and guts and any WWE, news. As much they probably hate to do. Just kidding. But you have it. Gun swoop. Nah, but catch those guys. Those guys do a great job, breaking down all the shows and what to look for and how to watch them. Great job, guys over there. Keep doing your thing. But yeah, the Mets got to get it going. Back to baseball, but let's get back to some basketball. Who else?
Yeah,
We
man.
got any more teams, Leon? Got any more?
No, those are all the bad ones, man. It's all about
That was
beef.
what's beef? What's beef? I mean, what that's all about. But yeah, can't wait for the playoffs, man. This is just gonna be a wild one. I think we're in for a surprise. Somebody's getting upset. Um, MVPs are gonna show out. Jokic still showing out, Embiid showing out. Most improved player Randall still showing out. He just snatched that award from Jeremy Grant and Christian Wood, and Knicks doing anything, Nets doing anything. We're gonna see. I'm calling it. I called it. I said an A seed. I did say it. Pat yourself on the back, but they in the fourth now. Once again, if you thought it was gonna be fourth, or you say, "Oh yeah, I knew it," you're a damn lie. But New York basketball is back. I mean, it's gonna be wild. Maybe the Nets might have a championship parade down Flatbush. Please, Lord, do not. I don't want to see it.
No.
Leon be winning all year fantasy leagues, NBA. He'll see ML. He saw MLB championship all before I saw one. Well, at least I know the Lions ain't winning anytime soon. So
Speaking with so my Lions face mask came in, so I'm excited to be looking at that. About the time I start repping this team proudly, no more paper bags over the head. That's going to be good. But Speaking of a crowd around Flatbush, I know last weekend they had DMX Memorial over at
Hmm.
Barclays Center, which was real nice. If anyone saw the links, um, they had the tribute going down like the Major Deegan from Yonkers
Hmm.
to Brooklyn. They had the casket on the monster truck,
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
and then the Rough Riders, the Rough Riders trailing them, and
Hmm.
the whole procession outside Barclays Center. It was real nice. Uh, Sad to see him go.
Hmm.
You know, this this rap game is something else, man.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We just seen him lose a lot of them, man. As we know, we ran two goats here. I mean, we lost not even before the prime of their careers. It's just crazy. But DMX, he's 50, but still, I think he had a lot of life left in him. But all that some habits, they catch up to you, and it's crazy. RP to him. Shock from Digital Underground.
Hmm.
Once again, it's your chance to do the hump, do it with us. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. Life is definitely something else.
Yeah, this is it's been some interesting year. We got some good stuff, we got some bad stuff, but I like where we're going with this, and um, I think we'll pretty much end it here. I think we'll see you guys next week, next Friday, next Saturday, somewhere in that range. Um, we'll have Felipe on recapping fantasy basketball to toot my horn. I might have a crown on next week, so that'll be good.
Oh man.
But got any parting words for our audience?
Thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't, probably still watching the draft, catch the replay. Leon, always working hard on editing because Lord knows I ain't doing it. Shout out to you, brother, for doing all the hard work. I just joined you and try to spread my knowledge and help you out. But you still kicking ass doing the work, hard work. And catch our other podcasts, as he said about a few minutes ago. Catch all our other podcasts, because we all do it for you guys, trying to make something. Enjoy our new name, Basketball Life, no longer Ballers Life. So had a nice little unanimous vote. So we'll see what happens, and you know, the rest. Thank you.
No doubt. Join our Facebook group, Basketball Life. Um, Come in, get some laughs, share your knowledge, and have a good time, man. But for this week's episode, it's been good, and we'll see you guys next week. And until then, ball out, everybody.
Baby, baby.